we have never at any time, like from the pulpit or to our congregation, communicated, we want you to go and do something for
Okay, so
us.
you guys didn't say.
No, we haven't done that.
We're not making a call for that.
Yeah, well, let me.
And then people started doing it, so where did that come from? Was that?
One person checked out all 16 books.
Oh, it was one person.
There's not an army of people that are doing this. None of that has happened. If that's the narrative that's being put forward.
First, I'm just going to have you both say and spell your first and last name, and then say what your title is.
Sure.
Either one of you can go first.
My name's Tanner Cartwright. I'm an elder here at Reformation Church, Tanner Cartwright.
And my name is Jerry Doris, and I'm also an elder at Reformation Church, and it's JerryDorris.
Perfect. And so kind of tell me how this all started. I know this was last year, right, when one of your members had gone to the library. So kind of go through that whole story of how you guys became aware.
Yeah, sure. We had a member who had gone to the library and their children had encountered some of these books. And upon looking more, they discovered more. And so they checked them out to show us what they were. And so that's the first time we'd ever heard of it. We actually thought that our library was free of that kind of material. And so they asked us, what they should do and that kind of stuff. And our primary concern was letting our community know. So we produced a video with our evangelist in our church. His name is Austin Keeler. And so Austin did a video and we broadcast that, and the call to action of that video was to contact the library to let them know that we didn't want this kind of material in there. And then, so organically it's kind of happened that they're wondering, now what do we do with these materials? And their thought was just to keep them and not return them, and that's something that we agree with. We didn't want them back in the public eye because it was groomer material, and it would jeopardize children if they were to encounter this stuff. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And what kind of stuff was in the books? As I know that you said, I saw one of your Facebook posts that said that there were 6-year-olds being encouraged to perform.
You can't even say it online because that's how bad it is. So one of the books, which is Beyond Magenta, is a young adult, which is 12 years old, is the youngest category for that. And in that book, it details how a 6-year-old performing oral sex. And so that was pretty egregious to us. Tanner you have an 11-year-old. You can't even imagine your daughter encountering a book like that. And it's about transgenderism and exploring and all that kind of stuff. And but it's right there for them to see. But that's not the only thing that was.
No, there was stuff in all the books.
Yeah, in all of the books. They're putting forward an agenda that is to normalize what the scriptures condemn and tell us. So, for example, God made us male and female, and the expectation is that you are to, become a godly masculine man, or a godly masculine, or a female feminine woman, and so, contrary to our beliefs and the beliefs of Christians for 2,000 years. This is what's being put out there. There's an agenda to have this type of book in there. And it goes down to even the youngest.
Yes.
Like the little kids are like little books, like for 6 years old and younger, 5, 4, 3 years old. There are books in there that further this agenda, and that's our primary concern.
Yeah. Beyond that, just specifically the targeted grooming of small children to make them think that these sorts of things are okay. To start putting in a young child's mind that they could be a drag queen, or that they could sexual things that they're not even thinking about, shouldn't be thinking about. It's promoting that, having them think about sex in a perverted way, bluntly. And so for those kind of things for small children, it's just unacceptable.
Or to make it okay that two men, that you have two dads, or that you have two moms. And people go, well, that should be acceptable in our society today. Well, there's been a shift towards those kind of things, but that's not normal. We don't procreate with that way. That's not how God designed us. That's not what any Christian who looks into the Bible sees as a good model for them. And so it's put into their conscience so that they begin to think about these things. We were just talking about, we have somebody in our church that has a young daughter, and had been asked by other people, well, how do you identify? Are you a boy or are you a girl? Well, she's a girl. But because we're sexualizing at younger and younger ages, we're encouraging children to question God's created order for them. That's our primary concern, is that this is an agenda to normalize perversion.
And so when because I know it was the church member that kind of made you guys aware of the books, did you guys go look at the books yourself, or did you see?
Yeah, I've held them, I've looked at them, and
he brought them to us.
Yeah. Okay, so he checked.
I haven't seen them for over a year now,
okay.
But I have looked at them, and I have seen the egregious parts. And it's just not parts of them. It's sometimes just the title alone. It's questioning what the scriptures say, and it goes against what every Christian has ever believed for 2,000 years until the last 5 minutes. Last 5 minutes ago, everybody believed in male and female and right-aligned gender identity. The gender identity wasn't even a thing 5 minutes ago.
And so I'm sure, I know you saw it because you put it on your Facebook, but the library released a statement that it was books that were targeted towards more adults and not children. What's your response
there
to that?
There were 4 books in there that are identified as adults. There were 16 books total that were taken. And there may be more books in the library. We don't know that. But even of those 4 books, the one, The Art of Drag, is for children. It is meant for children. If you ever get an opportunity to look at it, you'll see it's illustration after illustration after illustration, and it's meant to be attractive. But that's only one. The young adults and then the younger, it's all pushed that way.
But they're trying to make that claim, but reality is when they say young adults, they're still talking about minors.
Talking about a 12-year-old.
Like
they're talking about minors.
The one that told the story about the 6-year-old performing oral sex, that was it's at 12 and up. That's for minors. And so they can say that all day long, but these are young adult. They're talking about minors, introducing grooming material to minors. That's what they're doing.
The reality is that our local library breached our trust. We trust them to inspire children, to have good educational materials for children to be able to wander apart from their parents for a little bit while their mom sits and reads a book or drinks a coffee or something while they're looking at stuff. But they breached our trust by putting materials in there that no Christian would want to have. And this is a Christian community. We just don't want this stuff here. We're not alone.
Even non-Christians don't want their children looking at books that talk about just explicit things like that. No one wants that. In our culture, our modern culture right now, we have parents that are taking their children to see drag shows. Why are grown men dressing as women and dancing in front of our children? Provocatively. Yeah, provocatively, strutting around. They have this thing called a strut walk that they do. They've done it here in our own town. Why do they do that? They're doing that to groom children, to make it normal for you to question your own identity. And so when you guys made the video and then people were encouraged to check out the books and just not return them, do you know how many people checked them out, or how many, like, was it a bunch of people from your guys' congregation? Well, that's a mischaracterization. We have never at any time, like from the pulpit or to our congregation, communicated, we want you to go and do something for us. Okay, so you guys didn't say? No, we haven't done that. We're not making a call for that. Yeah, well, let me. And then people started doing it, so where did that come from? Was that? One person checked out all 16 books. It was one person. There's not an army of people that are doing this. None of that has happened. If that's the narrative that's being put forward. Now, I'm okay with it. So what I would encourage is that because we believe it's an act of civil disobedience, if you feel like you want to do that, I would applaud that, but you make sure that you're okay with the consequences. If you're in the state of Illinois, you know what they do. Here in Kentucky, it's treated like a civil offense. Like if you didn't pay your water bill, you're not taken to jail because you did that. It's a civil matter, so there's fines and there's losses of privileges. Eventually, you're not going to have your power on. With a library card, eventually you won't be able to check out books.
Gotcha. So it was only one person that
Yep.
just took and then just never returned them.
Yep.
Gotcha. And so now, but you guys are, I mean, I know you guys didn't promote, go do this, but you guys are okay with it
100%.
I
Yeah.
am.
happening.
Yeah.
And so when the library says, I mean, I know you're talking about kind of state laws and everything and what's
Sure.
considered, but when the library says it's stealing or theft, what's your response?
They checked
to
it
that?
out, and they've gone through that process. It's not theft, as opposed to just going there and then taking that. But the real theft, that's what you're going to
Yes,
say.
go for
ahead.
it. Do it. No.
The real theft is that this library staff took our money and bought these books that are contrary to every Christian's worldview for the last 2,000 years.
Yeah, the theft is they took my money and they are grooming children with it, and that's unacceptable. That's the theft.
Our community should be outraged that they have used our money this way.
And much of it is. I mean, even today I was meeting with a customer and they're like, hey, I saw your picture in the paper, and was talking to him, and he was just flabbergasted. Mind was blown that this was happening in our local Shelbyville library. Like, he just couldn't even conceive of it. And he was fully in support of what we did. And so I'm getting a lot of that locally, and these people are not blowing it up online. They're not organized or whatever you want to call it, but the local community is with us on this.
You need to recognize that the likes and the shares and all that, that's from a very small minority of people that show up on every issue that deals with LGBT stuff. We have been in this battle for years. Since 2019 was the first time that we went to a Pride event to preach and to share the gospel with people. And from that time, you can see there's just always the same litany of people that come. And so here they're showing up for this, and it makes it look big online and like there's some big thing. But Shelbyville and Shelby County does not want this stuff.
Yep. Every time there's a gay pride event, it's all people from Louisville, Lexington, or even other states. And even in this instance, we've seen people from other states commenting online and pushing a narrative. And so it's not our community.
I'd be surprised if the monies that they have raised is actually from Shelby County. I'm sure there's going to be. But I understand that somebody gave $500 to this. I guarantee if you check on that, I bet that's not from Shelby County. That
Yep.
should be something they can let you know. But it's coming from outside of our community.
Gotcha. And I was going to ask about that because when I talked to the library earlier, I mean, not in an interview, but she said they've gotten over $2,000
Yeah.
donated. Some of it is from within the state, some of it is from around the country.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So I know you say people in Shelby County agree with you guys, but I mean, what's your response to the people that, because I mean, this has gotten national attention now. I mean, they
Yeah.
said that there's been people from other states that have called in or sent messages or sent books.
They may be the same people that are giving me death threats, that have threatened arson on our church, that we've had to have the police have extra coverage of our church because of this. We expect it because this is what happens. They swarm from a national level to try to make local things look bigger than they actually are. If you could cut all of that off, you would find a handful of people in our actual county that are for this kind of stuff, and that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, so you have a LGBT community nationally pushing this down our throats when our community doesn't want it. That's what you have.
Gotcha. So if you went to a library, I mean, I guess you guys weren't expecting that stuff to be in this library, so you
Yeah.
felt like, I mean, I think the word you said was betrayal.
It is. It's a breach of trust. It's a betrayal.
I mean, I don't want to see grooming material in any library.
Sure.
But this is our library, but we care about this one. This is my community. I care about the people. I care about the young people. I've got 7 children, 11 and under, and I mean, we're not going to be going there, but there's others that do. Everyone that I've talked to locally, they had no idea. Like, it just blows their mind that this kind of stuff would be there.
And just so you realize, even if they get $1 million, they still have the same decision to make. Will we alienate our entire community in order to have books that only a few people will actually want? And this is something for you to press as well, is she said in the very first interview that Jack Brammer did that few people, if any, check these books out.
Yeah, she said these books are not being checked out.
Why is that? Because nobody wants it. Nobody's looking for it. But when you put it in a place that people now discover it, it's Pride Month or whatever, and we've got to display our pride, and we put it out there. Now you're forcing an agenda on people that are not looking for that material. That's what we've had. That's what's happened.
Gotcha. And I mean, the social media blow up, because I mean, I know you said you've been threatened.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, is there anything else you guys want to say about that? Just any messages to people in the community or that are seeing this?
We're kind of used to that at this point.
This is honestly, it's milder than what it has been in the past. When we
Oh, so you guys have had threats
Yeah,
like that
so
before.
here in Shelby County, we had a small group called the Shelby County Pride that formed. It was a handful of women that wanted to have a pride event, had to have a parade and then a festival. And our church stood against that. And actually 18 other churches stood against that. And we had at one point, one year, we had 39 men show up out there with signs and to preach the gospel and hand out tracts and have conversation and just to engage them, but to let them know we don't want that here. So eventually, after they did that for a couple years, they got some outside money again to rent the conference center, which cost like $3,500 to rent for a day. So, but somebody was willing to pay for that. They had their event and it was there, and nobody showed up because it was inside. They have to have that center place so they can have this. And during those events, we noticed license plates and all the people that came. They had a big rig, some LGBT big rig person that came in from out of the state. It's all out of state to try to force it into our little community here. Well, because we stood against that, you can imagine the outcry that's happened because of that.
Gotcha. So you guys are not strangers.
We're not novice. Yeah.
Gotcha. That was all the main questions. I don't know if, do you have any?
Have you talked directly to anybody like from the library, since this is all like face to face or just through email, or kind of how is
Oh
it
yeah,
been
what has the
talking?
communication looked
Yeah,
like?
originally we wanted a meeting, so we originally asked for a meeting with them. They wouldn't do that. They were not willing to meet with us. We have, yes, I mean we've.
No, we make some assumptions too, because when we put that video out, the call was contact the library. And from that, we have heard of no outreach from them to say, yeah, let's sit, let's talk, let's figure these kind of things out. What we've had is statements that they've put on their Facebook, thanking people for the community support, which you just admitted is actually from outside of the state, the monies that they were getting, that she's telling you.
They said some of it. They said some was in
Yeah,
the state too.
sure.
But
Now, one thing that we have noticed today, many people in our community were receiving a text from the, I think it's Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, which is another LGBT affirming. I think they have like 350 followers on their Facebook page. But somehow they were able to plug into a robo-texter to text people in the community to sign some sort of a petition, because they're trying to drum up support locally so it looks like there's more than actually is supporting that. And so we call that into question.
gotcha. So you guys did ask for a meeting. The library said no. So all you've heard, you have not heard directly from them besides them saying no.
Well,
to the meeting.
originally, so that was a year ago.
Yeah,
It
I-
all
Oh, that
kinda-
was a year,
It all
okay.
kind of died down.
Well,
It
we
went
haven't had,
away.
I mean, I actually sent a text or a message to Pamela, whatever her name is, Filderspill or something like that.
yeah,
Forgive me
the-
if that's not how you
the
pronounce your name.
director.
Yeah, the director. Because of, I had sent an automated thing and I get a message back, but it was ambiguous, so I asked, to clarify what that was, but I haven't heard back from her. But I'm not opposed to talking to her. We'd love to sit down and
We'd
talk
be
to her.
glad to,
Love to
yeah.
talk to anybody there, just to just talk about what we really want in our community and what we don't want in our community.
Gotcha. And so a lot of people from your guys' church did call the library when you guys posted that video.
Again, I didn't have a checklist that said you did this.
yeah,
that.
sure,
There's
yeah.
a great assumption, and I believe that happened. And even the person that checked these books out, they only got automated, late notices and those kind of things. But there was never a personal appeal. The library knew what had happened over a year ago, and I'm not even sure how this news got out, because this is just
Well, I was going to ask that too. I mean,
We don't know.
how did this blow up now? If it was
We don't know.
Jack. That would be a question for Jack Brammer, the original guy who broke it. It was 2 months ago that he contacted us, and he's been working on this story for a while. So we've known that it was going to happen. We just didn't know when it was going to be released.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was all the questions I had. Unless you have anything else, you guys want to add anything?
You have any more context?
That covers it.
Yeah. We're grieved. We're grieved for our community. We're grieved that this even has to be an issue. It didn't need to be. We're really calling upon the board of directors to set in place a policy that protects our community. It doesn't matter how much money comes in. They still have to make a decision whether or not they're going to rebuy these books or purchase any of this type of material. And the answer should be a resounding no from a policy level before she can make the decision, for anybody in the staff can make the decision. The board of directors needs to make a policy
Yep.
to protect us.
And if they go through with this, if they go through with using this money to rebuy books and restock books, they are intentionally grooming children.
And they're losing their audience. They're gonna find that attendance drops off, their impact, their usefulness to our community will be lost because
100%.
the Christians in this community are not gonna go there. Why would you go there if they're gonna intentionally groom your children, announce they're gonna do it,
Yep.
spend money to do that?
So that's kind of the next step, is that you hope that the board of directors will
Yeah.
or you're trying to.
Well, it would be great if the current director, and the staff would, say we see what we did and we're wrong. Well, we shouldn't have done this, and do an about face. That's what needs to happen. It's probably the same thing that needs to happen with Cracker Barrel's logo. They need to stop and turn around, right? So this is what's happening to them. They're literally going to lose their audience the same way Cracker Barrel is going to lose it, because they've lost touch with who comes to the library. It's not all this massive amount of LGBTQ identifying people that come to the library, and they're catering to the wrong people.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Unless there's
thank you.
anything else you have, or.
You've got a minute and a half worth of stuff there.
Sure, I do. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Please don't just give us 15 seconds. That's what WLKY did. 15 seconds of about the same length
It was
of an
about
interview.
similar, yeah.
Yeah, which was grievous. So
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we don't know how the other interview is going to go, what stuff we'll end up using.
Yeah.
We do try to make it obviously as fair as possible. That's why
Yeah.
we wanted to talk to you guys, because
Yep.
it wouldn't be fair to air something without both sides anyways.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being willing.
Yeah. Would you mind?
Yeah. So we just finished an interview with Wave 3. How do you think that went?
I thought it went all right.
About the same as the one that went with WLKY, but we'll see how
They're
they
all
edit it.
friendly. Oh, we wouldn't do you like that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see what actually happens here. But I don't know that any new information came out. It's really the same story that's going around.
We really just talked about all the other stuff. I mean, same stuff.
What they just revealed, though, is that monies are coming from outside,
Yeah.
around the
I could see her
nation.
wishing she hadn't said that.
Yeah, which proves our point. This is
Yeah.
what we're trying to say. This is not Shelby County. This is from outside of our community, and it's very few that are supporting this
Yep.
from local here. I wish there was a way to quantify that for people. I wish we had some way, a ballot box, or some people could say, hey, we don't want this. But
The people that are opposed to us are very loud. The people
Yeah.
that are in support of us are quiet.
Yep.
And so it is what it is.
And the reason because they're working. They're building their families.
Yep,
They're
busy.
running their businesses. They're going to church. They just don't have time to engage with this kind of stuff.
And the fact that, as we talked about the last time, there's just been such a, if you speak negatively about this kind of stuff, you pay for it.
You do.
That's been the
mode, yeah.
that's what we've been in for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's kind of hesitant to.
Yeah. But we're not going to be afraid to speak on this topic ever, and so therefore it's it's going to come up again and again and again until it's just pounded into dust. I don't want to see it anymore. So that's my thought.
See what happens.
All right. See you guys.
God bless.